sold over 6 million copies in the first weekend. Like,
it's easy to forget that Pokemon is the most profitable like media franchise of all time. Like
it's not just
as much as we've been talking about like Star Wars and other stuff, like as much as people are like, oh, Marvel movies are taking over, it's like, just don't forget that meanwhile Pokemon makes more money than all of that shit.
And it's not just the games, it's fucking everywhere. Like now that Detective Pikachu is like,
right,
I would call that a success. Like, I still haven't seen it, sadly. I mean, I don't know. From what I've been told, I don't need to see it, which is an upsetting thing to be told. But like,
I think it's not made for our demographic. But I thought, as a fan of the games, it was a lot of fun. I'd recommend it. I think you'd get a kick out of it. But
like, I'm sure I'll see it eventually.
But yeah, exactly. Though it like, not only do you have, you know, all the success of the games, merchandise, obviously, that's probably where the bulk of it comes from.
Oh, yeah.
And all that, but you also have now box office success, which is what, like, the reason Marvel is one of the most, like, not that there isn't Marvel merchandise, but the real money that the Marvel makes is
there's
from
no Marvel merch.
Yeah, no, but the real money Marvel makes, like, or has made historically, now comes from, like, the 25 billion they've made at the box office. But, like, Pokemon has made, you know, probably more than that just off of the merchandise alone, and then game sales, which typically make more money than movies because games are $30-$50, but
it's just like, if a kid really wanted to, and like I feel like I did for a while, like Pokemon was as legitimate as just like sports, or not, I mean, not in that sense, like I could go home, play or on my way home I would be playing Pokemon or whatever, like after school I'm playing Pokemon on my DS or whatever, and then I can watch the show, and then I can get the trading cards, and then
trading cards, that's
like,
a whole other market that they've like completely dominated in.
Like back then I could sometimes go to the theater and see the Pokemon, right? You know, like I remember
over 1,000 episodes
DVD
of the
releases.
Anime and something like 20 movies.
Like it's hard to avoid Pokemon, honestly.
And we have not even mentioned Pokemon Go, which
my God.
I don't think I'm pulling this out of my ass. I'm pretty sure that there have been over 1 billion downloads of Pokemon Go.
Like, I'm gonna Google it, keep talking about your impressions.
It is by far it is still currently the most played mobile game. Unless that's changed in like the past like month or so, but like last I checked, that was true.
July 31st, Pokemon Go has racked up 1 billion downloads from Engadget.com.
That is a significant chunk of the world's population. Now, granted, I'm sure there's some doubling up there where a few people have either multiple phones or multiple downloads or whatever. But I mean, like, let's just even if you round that down by like 100 million, you're still talking about like way outselling any of the handheld games or main series games. You're still talking about outselling probably, I'm assuming, any game in history except for, I don't know, again, maybe another mobile game like Angry Birds or something. But even that, but I mean, we all remember just 2 or 3 years ago when Pokemon Go was just so dominant that it was all over the news. Everyone had it, even people who had never played Pokemon, and then it led into some really high sales for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like, that stuff did translate, and I'm sure if it weren't for Pokemon Go, we wouldn't have had the movie, and all that stuff. So we've been in for the last 3 years, like the second big Pokemon like renaissance, a big like wave of Pokemania, because like it was massive and unavoidable in the 90s, and then I think when we were growing up with it, it was like back to just kind of being for kids again. But then Pokemon Go came out, and now like it's just again I mean, it was making money that whole time, don't get me wrong, but like it's even bigger than, you know, it probably has ever been since the 90s now, you know.
And I am totally okay with it. Like